My final project is mainly inspired by Goro and his studies published in 2015, in which he introduces how the focus-sensitive marker studied by Zhou and Kern in 2009 actually invokes the rigid scope constraint, which is a concept introduced by Huang in his studies in 1989. So what is the focus-sensitive marker and what is the rigid scope constraint? Let's take an example. In the English sentence, someone criticized every teacher. There are two possible interpretations. The first one is when the existential quantifier some takes scope over the universal quantifier every, and in this case, the possible interpretation is that for every teacher, there's one individual criticizing. So there's only one person criticizing every teacher. The second possible interpretation is that when the universal quantifier every takes scope over existential quantifier some, and in this case, the interpretation is for every teacher, there are some individuals who have criticized him. So there are more than one people criticized every teacher. However, in the equivalent Japanese sentences, 誰かがどの先生も批判した、it's actually the inverse scope is not allowed due to the rigid scope constraint. Therefore, Japanese native speakers can have only one interpretation, that is, the existential quantifier some takes scope over the universal quantifier every, so that there is only one individual criticized every teacher. And in Goro studies, he argues that actually the focus-sensitive marker in the Japanese instance, which is ga, actually invokes the rigid scope constraint so that Japanese native speakers are not allowed to have the inverse scope reading in the sentences like 誰かがどの先生も批判した or 誰かがどの食べ物も食べた sentence like that.